Everybody, welcome to That's Good Stuff, where we review the most recent releases of pop culture. And that means this week we have to review Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. And it's actually in the movie. She gave someone a scar.
It happens,
crazy.
Man.
So yeah, this is
people,
Zach.
Honestly, but
this is Zach Snyder's sci-fi epic failed Star Wars pitch that he brought over to Netflix. That he has a big franchise plan for us, and we are going to talk about it. Let me get my notes because I forgot I actually did take notes for this movie.
And Lion King, where does Scar get his scar? They never say.
Is it Lion King 2? It's in Lion King 2, right?
No,
the Kobu gets a scar, but not actual scar.
Yeah, I was thinking it was a different character.
He said it, I think,
ages.
He said he got it from Mufasa.
Yeah, didn't he I thought he saved Mufasa from something.
I guess that's what the live action.
It's been so long, dude.
I think so because they kind of
for.
clarified that because he's just like, I won't go against you again. And so
I don't remember that at all. We're gonna have to review.
We got to review
Lion King 2.
I would guess the last time I probably watched Lion King, I was probably under 10. Like, I doubt I've watched it in the past 2 decades. Yeah.
I think we saw it in 3D at one point.
Man. Dude, you got to watch it again, Mike.
I know. Man. I've had that on my list for a long time to go back through all the old animated Disney movies because all of them are that way. I haven't seen any.
Do you even remember what the movie's about?
I remember the main stuff, but I would probably be very surprised on many scenes in that movie.
Okay, we gotta talk about Rebel Moon, guys. So this movie starts.
Let's say we're trying not to here.
This movie starts with a recap of the last movie, and it really confused me because Anthony Hopkins is talking, and he's like, the Admiral had been defeated, so they go back to get paid, and everything looks great, or so they thought. Why would they think that? I mean, it's a giant empire.
One man.
By defeating one man wouldn't they retaliate? Later on in the movie, they do say, hey, it's protocol for if you get defeated, you have to go back to the base, but still, how long would that last? So the Dreadnought was defeated, or so they believe. That's what they say. And we see the Admiral. He's not dead. He's just in a cocoon.
He's in a chrysalis.
He's in a cocoon. Yeah, he's going to turn into a beautiful butterfly one day. So they wake him up, and he's like, she's on Velt, man. We set course for Velt. Okay. And then we welcome the villagers welcome the heroes to the village, and they're so glad they came. We're going to show them the life. And then they have a spy on the planet. Remember, they left a battalion on the planet, but this guy rebelled against them, so they killed them all off, but they left this guy. So he gets a message, and he's like, dude, we're coming in 5 days, man. And then he's like, okay. So he goes and he tells them, hey, Admiral dude's alive, and they're coming in 5 days. The main chick does not believe him. He's like, I killed him. He's dead. They're not coming, but he's convinced. But then, he's like, he's not dead. We gotta get to work. And the general's like, work begins at dawn for the defense of this villages. We get a scene of some smooching from the main chick and the farmer dude. And then we get, remember?
I like the before that scene, she's like, why do you feel so much? And he's just like, because of you. And it's just some bad writing.
It was very, I was just like, it's like the line you're waiting for, because of your wedding. It just took a while, too long to say it that I would expect. It's finally like, well, because of you. And it's very dramatic.
He's like, line.
Shove my face against mine.
In the last movie, she had no feelings for this guy. She's like, even no, I don't like you, whatever. I kind of like what's his face from Sons of Anarchy. What's his name? Charlie Hunnam.
The bad guy.
And then turns out he was a bad guy. It's like, okay, cool. But then at this one point, she's like, No,
You're the only one left. Okay.
Exactly.
What about both Hercules,
I
man?
guess.
Even though there's this shredded Prince dude that never puts on a shirt.
Everyone is super horny in this movie, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So remember how the main character in the last one could only talk in flashbacks? Well, we get the first flashback now, and she's like, I was the bodyguard for the princess, and they were having this like soiree thing where guys with bags on their heads were playing orchestral music. They walk in there, the king's like, what's wrong? Something's weird.
Your beard looks faker than mine. What's going on?
And then everyone pulls out daggers, and it's time to kill Caesar.
I'm about to say, true to Kaiser.
And she's there watching this, and they're like stabbing them, and then it's time to shoot the princess, and she doesn't want to, but her stepdad's going like, shoot her! And then she does, and it makes all kinds of sparkles. It's like she killed magic or something.
Shut a moth and it went.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck. She just lit up from the inside like she was a little nuclear bomb.
So they get murked. She tells. Oh, before she kills her, she's like, "I forgive you." And she's like, "You shouldn't."
Why?
Okay, so it's done, and we get some shots of Snyder farming. So it looks like everyone's like in a Ford commercial or something, or a Budweiser commercial, because they're like getting the wheat, and it's all dramatic. Everything's in slow motion.
You say shots. We get the first half of the movie, which is just Snyder farming for an hour of this movie.
Okay, I told Michael specifically this part right here. It made me like have hay fever, literally, because like all that pollen was in the air, and they're just like, yeah, and I'm like, I would be in the corner going, oh.
Well, we've learned that Superman has trained on a farm, so we know they're just getting the best training.
They're the best.
Snyder likes
coming out.
farms.
He
man.
does.
Snyder
man.
should remake that
Farm Simulator.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a movie from the 70s about farming, but he should just remake that. We cut back to the bad guys, and the commander guy hears like screaming going down in the med bay or whatever, and the admiral guy's going nuts. He's saying, release me. But the guys are like, hey man, we need to do a physical. We need to make sure you're well. And he's just like, no, I'm gonna kill all you guys. And he kills one of the dudes. So they're like, oh, you want to go back to the command? He's like, yeah, I'm in command again. And we cut back to more Snyder farming, and we get some village life. This is where we see what I was talking about, where everyone looks horny. The main chick is like watching the general guy drink water, and she's like, yeah, that's a tall drink. And then we get this little kid. He's like hitting on the sword lady.
The whole movie, it's weird.
The prince guy, the guy that rides the griffin things, he's like when the lady's like, hey, we got you some gifts, we welcome you to the village, he's like making googly eyes at her for some reason. It was just very strange, even though she's got a man. I guess a prince doesn't care. So yeah, they get some gifts. And what do they get? They get tiny little blankets.
Little dish towels.
That's like if you've ever been in one of those really awkward Christmas gift exchanges, and it's just like everyone's getting something weird. Like I have a story about a relative that gave us not a blood relative, but she looked up our like family histories and printed out pieces of paper of our family crests of like apparently what she thought was our family past. Put it on a chopped log of a tree with double stick tape of these printed out pieces of paper and gave it to everyone. And then everyone was just kind of like,
all right.
Wow.
Young Michael's like, what is this? This isn't a
the
64.
paper came off in seconds. And so I just had a piece of wood. It's just like
Piece of wood.
it was strange. So if you that's one of those things where you're trying to be very polite and be like, thanks, wow. But it's like that's what everyone in this room was doing as she's handing out these tiny blankets. It's just like, here, I knitted this for you. Like, we can tell. It's just like
next Christmas, I'm gonna make something for everyone. I'll be like, Michael, you represent something from the friend group and give it to you.
But it's like the thank yous everyone was so like, thank you. Yes, I'm gonna hang it up somewhere. Sure, I'm gonna keep it.
You should knit him a sweater of Zach Snyder.
I felt bad for what's his face, Gunnar, the love interest. And everybody gets like these cool symbols, like you're the heart. I'm just like, oh, Captain Planet over here, like heart. It's like screw you guys.
Yeah. So they have a dance, and everyone's dancing, and then the general's like, "I am gonna sing a song," and everyone has to watch him sing a song. Where was I? And then it's time for some training. So it's like Magnificent Seven. You're training to shoot guns and stab people and slash them and stuff like that. Not very interesting stuff. And then they're like eating dinner, and the general comes in and he's like, "Guys, it's sharing time. We need to share our stories with each other." This is like the most childish like excuse for flashbacks I have ever seen in a movie. Zack Snyder's like, "Oh no, we gotta give him backstory." So it's all doing in this scene.
All we've done is cut hay to this point. What do we do?
So they have their little share time. The main character goes down and she meets Robo Hopkins. He's out there somewhere.
True.
And she calls him James, right? And he's like, "What? Oh, that is my name." Why does he have a name? I don't know. They found this little ship that I guess brought her Saiyan ship or something. And they're going to use that.
Yeah, they didn't mention that in the last movie either. She just kind of appeared there. So
yeah, so backstories. The Dreadnought appears. Everyone's still working, but the Dreadnought appears, and he's like,
"Do you know why we know
work.
It's called a Dreadnought? Because General Titus looks up in the sky and goes, Dreadnought." That's how we know.
And he's not like, "Hey, everybody run." He's like, "Hey, finish your work."
Finish your work.
So they do. And then the Admiral lands and he confronts the main characters and he's like, "Leave," or she gives him a choice. She's like, "You better leave or we're going to cut off your head again." Or not again, but we're going to kill you again and cut off your head.
Earlier, we forgot that when the bad guy came back, they're like, "Oh, sorry, we could have done cosmetic surgery to get rid of that scar." And he's like, "No, leave it. I'm going to show it off later." And I was like, "Oh, it'll probably be at the end of the movie." He does it right here.
He's right there. He's like, "Look, you're an actual Scargiver. Aren't you impressed by my chest?" Like, oh,
the Scargiver gave me a scar. So the battle begins. We get this guy who was in a hatch. He just pops out and he bazookas everyone.
Yeah, that guy was MVP.
Yeah, and for some reason, if that was me and the Admiral was on the ground, I'd say everyone just start shooting. But no, they let everyone just get up. So yeah, they surprise him, they blow him up, then they let him get up. The Admiral gets all angry and he jumps into the little trenches they have dug and he starts killing everyone. He does the little 3-point landing while he falls in there.
I don't know if it's an Imperial thing, but they all jump through hatches the same way. They just go like this, like
whoosh.
The sword lady, she's like defending the kids in this one house, and she's got lightsabers, guys, and she's got to take on 3 of these guys with the swords. And it's that slow motion type of fighting that she does, and eventually they kill her. So
also those swords have names, by the way.
I know, and I can't remember that.
No, because the only reason I know is because I know I'm weird. I watch movies with subtitles. We're going to get over that real quick. But the thing is, when they ignite the sword, it says Kyberian sword ignites. And I'm like,
oh,
Wow.
So we're getting a lot of fighting, a lot of farmers dying. Remember that Jack farmer, man? He was going to take on the Admiral himself.
He went into it.
He
Proud
jumped
of him,
into
but
the
he didn't do
ship.
anything.
He didn't do nothing. He got killed.
Pretty much right away.
The general and the Griffin guy are fighting on a bridge, and they look like they're doing good. And they're like, yeah, they love to like roar and like.
They're doing. There's a lot of like noises that people make in this movie.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like. Yeah, like before nothing's happening, they just do that and then they run off. And I'm like, that happens probably 7 times. Like, I think he does a couple during this fight scene. And I was just like, okay.
And so they think they're doing good, but then they hear this like roar, and it's like, is it 80s or is it elephants from Lord of the Rings? But no, it's a big spider tank that comes in, and for some reason it makes monster noises. And for some reason, it's steam powered. But we'll get to that.
So is the giant, massive dreadnought that travels intergalactically. It's powered by steam. Apparently,
don't you question steam?
Don't be jealous.
Zack Snyder was like, I like steampunk, so we're gonna put it right here. So the main character gets on the ship, right? Because they got like this undercover deal they got to do. So they take to the sky and they follow these other ships that are going back to the dreadnought, and
she's like, fly casual, but not too casual. Yeah. Back to the.
They put a gas canister on top or a smoke grenade or something, so it looks like they're on fire. And the guys in the ship are like, "Oh, dude, they need our help. Get to the docking bay, and we'll give you some help." So they land in there and they act dead. And they're like, "Hey, get these guys to the med bay. Those guys are dead."
Should we just throw them off? No.
So back on the ground, remember the rebel lady? She was like she was on that rebel guy's team from the Justice League guy. So she's in the fight. She starts the fight. It was weird because they let like all the farmers fight first before like the good guys start fighting. Yeah,
the father went out and then the actual fight began.
So finally, she joins the fight. She's fighting the spider tank, and she like runs down there and she blows it up. And they're like, "Yay! She defeated the spider tank." Like I said, like Thomas said, the ship runs on coal because the main character, after they killed the poor medics, they killed the poor medical crew for helping them. She goes down to the engine room, and the engine's like this weird face that has.
I didn't get that.
Vines coming out of it.
That is apparently sentient or something.
Yeah, and then there's
monsters.
Coal guys down there like shoveling coal, and she kills them all for some reason.
Also, that one dude in the fire.
Yeah. And then back on the ground, we get a new spider tank, and we're like, "Oh crap, man, we can't take another spider tank." But it's okay because Robo Hopkins appears, and he joins the fight. He lights up all his lights, and he starts punching everyone, and then he grabs someone's gun, and he shoots them all, and then he blows up the tank, and it's so cool, Robo Hopkins. You're good.
He channeled his Clone Wars animated series and it just jumped on that tank, went in, did business.
Cape. You can't forget the cape.
And a crown.
Well, that crown disintegrated the first 5 seconds.
Yeah, that didn't last very long.
He's the key. Back on the ship, the lady's going to find the Admiral. She gets in this elevator, but they stop the elevator, and the guy looks in the elevator like, "Where'd she go?" And he's got a whole battalion behind him. She comes out and kicks him, and then kicks the whole battalion. This little 100-pound lady kicks the whole battalion down, man. How did she do that? I don't know. She gets a lightsaber, but she can't touch it because it hurts your hand and
burns her fingies.
Yeah, she's like, that's hot.
She needed a cloth.
Yeah, she needed a cloth. Fire at will. So the Admiral's like, "Hey, just shoot him." And the commander's like, "Oh, we got men down there, man." And he's like, "I don't care, just shoot him." So they're gonna aim. The ship starts to aim. It takes a while, as ships do, man. They gotta aim. You'd think they'd already have it aimed on the village just in case, but no.
Now he's got to do that crank, and then he's got to do the other crank.
So we got a lightsaber fight between the admiral and the main guy. It's crazy because they're like, she like kicks him. It's like all in slow motion. It was weird.
What's his face gets shot like because he's in that
Instantly.
little ship, and then he just tumbles to the ground.
It wasn't just tumble. He goes like, oh.
Well, also, it's like he's behind. Okay. So we have to rewind a little bit here because him and the main chick are common back and forth. Like, hey, I'm at the ship. You're placing bombs on face ship person. I'm here waiting for you, and it's gonna work out. And so Mr. Admiral, bad guy, is like, hey, second guy, you're gonna come with me. We're gonna go surprise her at the ship. What was Mr. Get Shot in the Chest doing the whole time? Like, they're like 4 feet from his exit docking bay. He has no idea. They're just like, oh, they're just waiting. Like, she's gonna come through this elevator in 5 seconds, and he's just pressing buttons and turns on. Oh, like you can literally see their feet from his camera view out the side, and then also it's just like shoot him in the back, pew pew, done. Like how she shoots like 12 people in the face and doesn't get hit, and he can't shoot 2 people in the back, and he has no idea they're there. Is very bad awareness on our boy from Haunting of Hill House, that's for sure.
And then they're in the engine room. They sent some guys down the engine room to check it out. And he's like, hey, what's this empty satchel? And he sees some bombs on the wall.
No, what's this empty satchel? What's this empty satchel? Head turns slightly to the left. 7 bombs.
No. And this is not the first time where a character sees a bomb and goes, oh no, this is the third time.
That is true.
So, oh no, the ship blows up, man. They take out the ship. It's starting to tumble. The lightsaber fights like in the air. It looks like Star Wars, like on episode 3 where they're sliding down and they're like fighting. And she gets kind of beat up. He kind of beats her up.
It's choking her, man.
He's choking her. And then the farmer dude comes and saves the day.
Out of nowhere.
Because of foresight. She knew that he couldn't handle that hot sword. So she put cloth around it. So one day he could handle that hot
Oh, no. Here's the other thing, though, is that during this fight, right? The ship's like falling, like, and it's like slanted. He goes, Cora! And she's kind of like, lets him go. she like looks him in the eyes and just goes like,
should have done something about that. Whoops.
This ship is an atmosphere and it falls really slowly. Yes, the farmer dude shoots him and they are
stabs him.
What does he stabs him? And then she finishes the job and cuts off his head. We don't really see it. We just kind of hear it. It looked like he got his head chopped off during the fight, but it was just a weird camera angle or something. So on the ground, it was the rebels come. They finally come out of nowhere to take all the glory. They take all the credit and clean up the fight.
I was so confused when they started flying, and I was like, who are these people?
And it's weird because you would think all the tanks would be like in the battlefront over there, but there's like a bunch like way out in the background. It's like, what? Where were those guys?
It's also funny because the farmers and our main characters do look upset that they took all the credit. They're like,
hold on,
they just came and did everything.
I know. The crowd goes wild, so everyone cheers because they won the fight. And then the farmer guy dies. It takes him a while, but she's like, please don't die on me. But he's dead. And so she's kind of sad about that. She goes and talks to the general, and the general's, hey, the princess. Well, she's like, don't thank me. I mean, you guys don't know who I really am. And the general's like, I know who you are. And he's like, you didn't kill the princess. The princess lives, darn it. And then we get set up for part 3 because it's time to go save the princess. And Robo Hopkins is on the job. So
I like when they're like, are you going to help us, Robo Hopkins? And I guess the princess is alive, so I guess I have to.
Yes.
I guess my obligation's back in line. So
it wasn't like, I'll help. It's like, I guess I'm obligated to.
At first, he's like, yeah, I'll be there. Oh, the princess is still alive. Yeah, I gotta do it, I guess. Oh, man. So that was Rebel Part 2. So who hated it more, Jared or Michael? We must see. So who wants to start? I don't care.
Would you like to, Jared?
I don't have much to say, honestly. It was pretty embarrassing, I guess. I almost fell asleep when they were sharing their feelings at the table.
Whose backstory did you like the best?
None of them. I didn't. I thought the guy without a shirt, he was really dumb.
Yeah, because his mom jumped off a building just because they were losing a fight or something.
She's like, I have to die with dignity.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then I was shuffled away or however, hidden away. It's like, okay.
And I was kind of pissed off because you know how what's her name just loves to tell about her backstory. That was the one time she's like, nah, I don't want to share my backstory. And then Gunner's just like, oh, thank you guys. And then everyone just disperses awkwardly. I kind of like the bad guy. He was just really cheesed off about dying. Just wanted some revenge, I guess. I was really confused about the freaking ship having a face. I was like, the heck?
That seems super weird. That seemed like some sort of Mass Effect stuff where they're like the ships are sentient and stuff.
Dude, Snyder just throws everything he likes. He throws steampunk in there. He throws anime. It's just like throw everything at it, man.
Bit of Warhammer.
Warhammer.
I was really concerned about the sword lady and that young boy's relationship because they were flirting hardcore the whole time, and I was like, "What is going on between those two?"
But now she's dead.
So I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Okay.
Were you really sad when she died? On Seven Samurai when some of them died, like the blonde guy. No,
I was like, really, just 3 guys? I mean,
Joseph, that is seven, or that is Samurai 7, not
Samurai 7. Same thing.
No, it is not.
It just switched, Tom.
Shut up.
I thought more of them were gonna die. Like I thought that rebel chick was gonna die when she did the bazooka at the spider tank.
Yeah,
I thought for sure the shirtless guy was going to die. He was in the middle of the battlefield shooting at things. Like, who did it?
Just bouncing off his pecs.
What dude wasn't shooting that easy target?
You would think someone would die because you think it'd be like Rogue One or something where everyone gets killed. But I guess they have to save them for Part 3.
And
I don't know. This is stop. I don't need to know this. At one part, I paused it because I was like, oh, I got to use the restroom. And it was halfway through and I was falling asleep. And I was like, dang it. It's just kind of embarrassing, kind of nothing we haven't seen before. It's just too much slow-mo again, even though I feel like there is less, but it's still too much farming. I'll let Michael talk about it because I don't want to anymore. Oh, no, wait, one thing. I was really disappointed in the freaking robot. I thought he was going to be really cool. He was kind of cool, but
it was one scene.
It was one little bit where he blew up a tank and then jumped out of the tank coolly a superhero, but then that was it. Yeah.
Okay, Michael.
Agreed. There's just no point for this movie in the slightest. It ended exactly where the first one ended. The bad guy died. They brought him back for no reason, just to find out the princess was alive. Like, we could have found that out at the beginning of the first one and moved on. And poof, this movie had no point. I actually probably feel like I enjoyed this more than the first one, honestly. This version of the story, anyway.
Yeah,
because it was a little more comprehensible. Like the first one, I was lost. I was like, "What? Where are we here? We're there. We're now." And the sword lady and shirtless man on a bird. I was so confused in the first one, so I was a little more following the story. But and then, like you guys said, there was less slow mo in the fighting, which was nice. Like, the farming type, all the slow mo, except for sword lady, she was all slow mo. That was all slow mo. So I actually enjoyed the fight scene with the rebel chick when she was doing she's fighting like dugouts in the middle of the battlefield. I thought that was actually really cool. Her fight scenes. Mm-hmm. And then shirtless man was weird the whole time. I didn't like him in this movie at all.
He downgraded.
He was a lot worse.
That perfectly coiffed scarf that he has at all times.
That just splits across the abs.
How good was he on the first one though? We get his like ride at Griffin scene, and then he doesn't do anything the whole movie.
They should have kept it to that much of him, for sure.
He should have just died on that planet, and they're like, "Oh well."
And I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Super, so a lot of this is just seeming very echoing of it. And it's like, why are we bringing back people that failed? Like, why are they so excited to bring back this admiral dude who lost to a bunch of rebels for no good reason? And they're like, oh, we're to save the day, man. This guy's back. We're big baddie, whooshy, whooshy, woo, woo, yay. And you're like, no. Why are they all excited and terrified of him? He died and sucked. You all could just kick him out of the ship. I don't know. I feel like the threat of him was non-existent in my mind.
And he died almost the same exact way.
Almost the exact same way. Yeah, just different destroying platform.
That was funny when she's like, the admiral's dead. It's like, yes, he's dead. I saw his body broken on the rocks.
Would you like more details, sir?
Why didn't they bring a cooler bad guy out?
I know. Do something. Get his older brother or something.
The dreadnought turns into a transformer, and he's
diving at you.
Does Snyder know about Gundams? He can throw Gundams in the next time.
Give him, at least if he's going to come back, make him half cyborg or something, you know? Like, give him
dude,
some
that
ornaments.
has to happen.
Yeah,
if that doesn't happen, Snyder, you're a hack, dude.
We need cyborgs.
It's just his body with a robot head or something.
Yeah,
that looks like a big chin.
There you go.
And he's steam powered.
That man does have a chin, though. Holy cow! Like when he's like angry, it's just like you can see the ripples of muscle. I'm like, chill out with the chin, bro.
That dude. I don't know how he got so cut for this role, but I feel like he wasted it because
it's unfortunate.
I mean, there is like not an ounce of fat on this guy. Because like when he comes out and he's like has like his bare chest and everything else,
you can scar,
see yes, for the scar, you can see every like vein and muscle in his whole torso. I'm like, good lord,
the whole time he's just clenching
down.
He does look like he could fight, and it's kind of weird that he beats up this lady, but
yeah.
I mean, honestly, he beats the crap out of her. She just doesn't die. I'm just
just falls. But no one else can beat the crap out of her. It's very, very a lot of plot armor to this movie, especially on Shirtless Man, because he should have died several times. Then who else is left? We got the Titus dude who I'm like, I love that actor, that black actor. I don't know his name. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's like, why? Of course, I say that. Freaking Carrie Elwes is in this, and so is Anthony Hopkins. It's like, why are you in this movie? I don't know. But yeah,
paycheck.
It's probably 100%, but I don't know. Definitely don't want more of this for sure. Wish it was good.
Too bad.
And we got to talk about the fisheye lens, man. It's they do the fisheye lens. It's in everything now, and I don't know why people.
I know. I hate.
People are using it like crazy.
I hate it.
It's also doing it with the vignette of focus in the center, it like center focuses, and then everything blurs out even more.
Yeah.
So like even in the wide shots where they're coming down from the town, I'm like, I can't see the town. It looks so bad.
All of the flashbacks were like almost headache inducing.
It's
because
terrible.
Go ahead.
We're at a point, Michael, where all the cameramen are like directors of photography, starting with skate videos, and
they've all grown up and they're making movies now.
Yeah,
but it's like wide shots are supposed to like you see the whole wide shot, but they're doing this weird focus on the middle of the wide shot, so my eyes aren't drawn to the focus point, which is just a bunch of wheat, and there's buildings out here, but they're all out of focus. So I'm trying to look at it, but I feel like I need glasses. I hate it so much.
Netflix loves it, man. Netflix does it on everything.
It's killing me.
In the princess flashback, when like the royal family walks into the room.
Yeah,
it has that fisheye lens where like the main focus is like Carrie Elwes's face, and then everybody else in the royal family is blurry. I'm like, why?
Like that's
such an odd shot
for close-ups too. Like they have these big party of main characters, and you're just focused on their terrible beards. That looks like their beards are unbelievable. Like I made the joke while you guys were just was doing the recap, and I was like pretending like I was pushing my beard back on whenever the guy's talking because it looks like it's gonna fall off any second. And it's just like, why are we doing? Yeah, I can't. Oh my god, this movie's not good at all. I think it was a hair better than the first one because it was more comprehensible. But apart from that, no. I'm done. Not bad.
I totally agree with that because the first one felt like it wanted to vomit in my eyes. This one just made me feel like it wanted to put me to sleep.
Yeah, I'm so bored. Like Jared,
But
I had snacks to stay awake because I was just like,
I will say I like this one more than the first one, mostly because there was a lot more action in this, and the action that we saw wasn't horrible. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Stupid, very, very stupid.
True.
But her fight scenes, like in the ship where she gets the sword and from those that squad of guys, that was kind of cool. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But it's still stupid. It's still stupid. And the only thing I didn't like was the only type of fight I didn't like was they kept going over that same stupid stone bridge in the village every single time. I'm just like, just blow up the damn thing. Like, why? Like, they're just like,
eliminate the
issue. Like each time, like they like come back to like Titus or the shirtless guy, they're like, let's go. I'm like, how many times are you gonna go over the bridge to attack these people? It's just, it was so weird.
Dude, the robot is super strong, man. You can't shoot him. He just
what? Why were those guys in the first movie mocking the robot?
Yeah,
like, you know he could kill all of you, right?
He even shoots him like in the head, and he's just like, "Ow."
The lasers were very liquidy in this one. It's just like sploosh.
I feel like they were that last time, but you really see it this time.
This time they're super liquidy.
Also, how did Gunnar bleed out if it's cauterized all of a sudden? It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
He's a wimp.
Yeah. It was easier to see. He died of a broken heart or a happy heart because
couldn't take that happiness.
He's like, he couldn't believe
I capped that. Oh,
he couldn't believe he actually got the lady.
That's true.
Unlike the other one.
I will say I still like a lot of the aesthetics of this movie. Like, granted, like Zach Snyder is literally the rule of cool guy. If it looks cool, I want it on screen. Like, I like the Imperial stuff. Honestly, is the coolest looking stuff in like this whole movie. I almost said show, but the Rebels, I don't really care. They look kind of stupid, but like everything involving, pretty much, but everything involving the Imperial, they look awesome. Like the suit and tie stuff is still making me laugh, but it's still kind of cool. Like he pulls it off.
He didn't have his cane this time, Jared.
He got broken.
His shillelagh?
Yeah.
I'll still stick with the robot's the coolest looking thing in this, and that's about it to me.
I mean, what about that scene where like the Griffins are fighting the spaceships? Did you think that looked cool?
Weird? The Griffins didn't look very good, though. They look very cheesy. No. I love the shot where she's in the cave and the robot's in the waterfall, like silhouetted. That was really cool.
That was really cool.
That was a very cool shot.
Robo Hopkins, man. We need more of him.
Make it the main character. Everyone else dies, and he's just one man solo mission to kill everyone.
Hopefully, now that he has a purpose, I guess he'll be cool.
I could see better in this one. Everything looked brighter, I guess. I guess it's because they're on the farm, so it's not all that CG gunk stuff that from the first one. And everything was really dark in the first one. Even the part where they're like resurrecting the Admiral was kind of brighter for some reason. It seemed brighter in this scene than it did at the scene in the first movie. So yeah, it's a little better than the first one. So for the third one, we might get a decent movie.
Maybe the 15th one will be amazing. Who knows?
Yeah, we're just working our way up.
Just tell a different story next time.
just let Snyder cook, man. Just let him cook. Gotta let him do his thing.
What are you guys hoping for the third one? Not to watch it.
God,
hoping.
Hoping it gets canceled.
I don't even know what he's gonna do. If I'm honest with you, like
they gotta save the princess, man.
Yes, but
there's no clear art hierarchy except for like the foster father bad guy emperor dude. He's the only bad guy we've really seen apart from the admiral guy. And it's like he's not scary in the flipping slightest, so I'm not excited to see any.
He got a weird beard.
Also, he's Scottish. Was he Scottish in the first one? Because I don't recall. I don't recall that. He's like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. I'm like,
"Kill."
What was that?
Speaking of Scottish,
shooter.
I was getting sick of the Scottish or Irish music with the beat, like the hip hop beat with it during this movie.
I didn't even notice the music.
I didn't notice the music at all.
It was some like traditional Irish singing, and then just like hip hop beats and all.
Oh yeah, there was kind of that Aquaman chorus thing going on when they get to the village that Snyder likes to do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, my.
All right. Should we just forget about this movie for now?
It's
Just put it out of our heads.
dear Lord. How long till the third one is that supposed to? Is that because
Well, they haven't even approved it yet. Or, so
I'm not even sure.
I mean, it was number one movie in the world yesterday, so it's like people watched it.
And he says more people saw the first one than Barbie. So
The thing is, he's not wrong though. Like, he's probably not wrong. I mean, as many people have Netflix subscriptions and how like easy it is to stream, he's probably not wrong. It's just one of those things. Like, do you not care about what the critics say? I mean,
Do you not care about Jared and Michael? Do you not care?
I understand like
Do it
when it's
for
like,
me.
hey, it's my thing. I want to do what I want to do. But is there nobody at Netflix going like, hey, guess what? Maybe we should like have a better story. Because if you look at the producers, there aren't that many. There were like 3, I think. Which
Snyder does all like the cinematography.
yeah,
and
he does all the story, the cinematography,
editing and stuff. It's like-
him and his wife produced this, and it's just like this is definitely an in-house type thing. He didn't farm this out, so it's like maybe a little supervision, a little, not a lot, but
Get the man a writer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, someone get him a writer.
Oh man. Oh, here's what we'll do. Because the director cuts are coming out, right? So here's what we're
I'm not
here's what we'll do.
No, I'm not doing.
You have to come over. To
I'm
watch it.
not
watching
second
it alone.
viewing these movies, Joel.
We're
So I
gonna
don't care.
bribe the audience, okay? If you guys want us to review them, you gotta get us to 100 subscriptions. So
God.
If you
We're
want to
gonna-
see Michael and Jared cry,
yeah, if you want to
for
see
an
their
hour, do it.
you want to see their heads just explode.
That's the one
Get
good
us
thing
to
I can say about this movies is they both have been 2 hours and not 3 because his normal was 3 and I'm like they've only been 2.
Oh my!
This one seems shorter than the first
collectively,
one
it's like
too.
7 hours apparently.
Mm.
Oh, the director cuts are going to be long, man.
Oh yeah. Like what else is there? There's so little in these movies actually. What else could there be?
What has been cut?
The first one I can
More
see
hay.
more happening because in the first one, like literally they went to a planet for 5 minutes
Yeah.
and left. I'm like, what? There's something missing.
Have you heard about the director's cut? It takes place in an alternate reality,
Oh yeah.
and they're using all different takes from the first movie. So it's going to be a completely different movie.
So not extended completely.
Yeah, different takes. So they took multiple takes of every
Camera
scene,
B
and they're going to
version.
take different.
Why? It's like Tommy Wiseau. Like, you know what? We're gonna have an HD digital camera and a 35 millimeter camera going at the same time, right next to each other. Why?
Snyder is a madman, man. He's a mad. He must have a lot of time on his hands or something.
Take a break. Have a little siesta.
Okay, and I understand. Like, we're being harsh on him, but I think the guy generally has gone through some emotionally and mental like breakdowns. So I'm trying not to be too hard on the guy, but geez, like, ooh. So
All right.
Yeah, they're rough.
Any last words on Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver?
What do you think the third one's called?
Rebel Moon Part 3,
Princess Not Dead.
The Princess Backer.
The Princess Glitter.
Princess Boogaloo.
Oh,
Wait,
my.
wasn't the first one The Child of Light or something like that? What did they have? I guess that was the princess's title. So, like I said, get us to 100 subscriptions and we'll make Jared and Michael watch the director's cuts for you. Give us some likes and notify yourself for even more good stuff to come, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Recording stopped.